So I'm Ron Lancaster, Director of Corporate Research at Boston Scientific. These are all the things that say I'm going to lie about some things and you don't get to do anything about it. Boston Scientific took a leadership change about 3 or 4 years ago with Mike Mahoney as the CEO, and he is instilling a hugely innovative model in the organization. These are words that everybody has, but is definitely integrated down all the way through the culture at Boston Sci. These are the products we're into. You are not as big as Medtronic or J&J. Those are competitors in a lot of these fields. Interventional cardiology, peripheral interventions, a lot of rhythm management, defibrillation is a core competency for us. Some of the newer stuff, electrophysiology, mapping and ablation, endoscopy, which is generally belly up instead of belly down, and uro and pelvic health. Now we just acquired a men's health line from a company called AMS, so we have a full line of pelvic health products. And then this is where some of the products start to get away from US visibility. We have deep brain stimulation, a number of spinal cord and other stimulation models in Europe that are approved and pending approval in the US. Some of these are key products that I just wanted to point out, help you get an orientation. I think this presentation is a little different than the digital focus of a lot of the other people today. Watchmen, which is a US approved, it's the only non-drug stroke prevention device that's doing extremely well. People are going completely off drugs aside from baby aspirin. And the Lotus valve, which is not approved in the US, but is moving forward in Europe. It's a transaortic valve, transapical valve system that you can reposition, so you can change your mind and move it, and that's a big feature. Deep brain stimulation, I mentioned before. Alair in the US is a very effective way to treat asthma with thermoplasty. And I'll skip to save some time here. What I wanted to talk to you about is both the hurdles that we face in a medical device company. Nothing we do is we're not gonna get your input today and put out an app tomorrow, I can tell you that. It takes a long time to get these products to market, and there's a lot of reasons why a lot of medical companies struggle with the pediatric market, some of which you could probably teach me more about. But when you look at the adult population, I can give you, you can read any number you want out there in terms of what the pediatric market is. Let's just say that it's 10% for argument. It's not really 10%. It's really 10% broken down into a lot of patient populations, as you well know. And that makes a huge challenge for innovators within the organization to argue the value of going after these really subsections of the population. So that's a hurdle. Is you're really looking at multiple markets within a quote unquote small market. 10% of adult market is a big market. I mean, we'd all love to have that. That's not the problem. The problem is that it's really not a market like the geriatric market, and a lot of pacing in that. You're pretty much like me, you just start huddling over and your hair falls out, but you stay the same as far as a cardiac rhythm management perspective. Clinical trials are, a challenge. You really do have increased safety concerns, as you well know. Diversity of the cohorts is an additional problem, and they do take more time and money in general. Regulatory actually is more hurdles. You have an increased amount of scrutiny. You have to bring more data to the table. And if you go for that adult approval and tie a pediatric approval to it, you will lose revenue while you wait, because you will have a longer approval process time. So I bring these up just to point out some of the things that get in the way. There are some things that are helping. The FDA really does know what's going on, and they're trying to support this. There's a lot of nonprofits out there. But really, the key to all this is innovation. If you can start thinking about ways to desegment that population, you know, a sensor that manages cardiac rhythm and a pacemaker that has a huge spectrum that can go from 0 to 10 years, which is the battery life of our pacemakers, then you've got a real opportunity. You just, you know, so what I'm asking you is to think about how we get over these hurdles in a medical device, you know, perspective. And I do think that those kinds of thinking is what's going to break through and those barriers that stop us from going forward. Boston Scientific is headquartered in Marlborough. We actually have a Cambridge office for our rhythm, for our cardiac mapping, but that's a small group. We're in Marlborough, which probably feels like a long way away from here, but we have collaboratories, which are innovative spaces, tons of engineers, prototyping. We can help with business landscaping. We can help with IP discussions and mentorship, and we do a bio-design model where we look for immersion in unmet needs. So thank you very much.